No one expected it. Even his closest fans were silent. Why did BTS's Jungkook, known as the Golden Magne with an extraordinary future, choose instead to hand over all of his inheritance rights to his older brother? Is this a sign that he has given up on something? Or is there a huge burden that he has been hiding from the public all this time? These questions shook the fandom, leaving armies sleepless all night. What is really behind this absurd decision? Does a brother's love transcend logic? Could the success of a global superstar be subject to the simple wishes of an older brother far from the glittering world? And could a sacrifice of this magnitude be a signal that something has changed in Jungkook's heart? Those are the questions that now fill the timelines of BTS fans after shocking news spreads secretly, then enlarges like a storm wave that hits with emotion. Jungkook, the youngest son of the Jeon family who has long been known to be so protective and loving towards his older brother, has just taken a completely unexpected step. He gave all his inheritance to his brother. Yeah, you didn't read it wrong. Everything. And what makes it all the more thrilling, this decision came purely from himself, of course. The world instantly fell silent. How could Jungkook, who in every interview and award is surrounded by symbols of glory, money, and endless surprises, suddenly choose to give up everything that is valuable for the sake of others, even to his brother who has barely appeared in public? Many are wondering, is this a form of return? Or is there actually an old wound that wants to be healed? Is it possible that this is related to childhood trauma? Or is it precisely because Jungkook wants to disappear from all the spotlight and bequeath his powers to the only person he trusts completely? Not a few fans immediately highlighted the Jeon family's past, which is rarely discussed. Jungkook is known to be very secretive about his personal affairs, especially about his family. But there was one fact that was once tucked away in a sea of interviews, that Jungkook respected and relied on his older brother, but no one knows how far that feeling has progressed. It wasn't until this news came to light that Jungkook secretly signed an official affidavit handing over all of his inheritance rights to his older brother, including an unimaginable amount of assets, property, rights to work royalties, and investments. What makes this even more astonishing is the sentence he himself wrote in the letter. "What I have is not only the result of my sweat. This is a dream born of the sacrifice of those who believed in me first. My brother is one of them." That sentence alone is enough to hit the hearts of readers, shaking the hearts of those who have only seen Jungkook as a celebrity, not as a man full of gratitude and deep love for family. But this story doesn't stop there. An internal source close to Jeon's family revealed that Jungkook had been considering this decision for a long time. Even from the second year of BTS's debut, as he began to feel his life changing drastically, he put together a financial plan focused not on himself, but on his brother's future. But as his popularity continued to skyrocket, Jungkook postponed the decision many times, waiting for the right time. And now, after going through a calmer phase, especially during his mandatory military service, he has finally kept his own promise. Does this mean that Jungkook will slowly withdraw from the entertainment world? This question began to come to the fore and unsettle many people. Especially considering Jungkook's statement in his last live broadcast before his hiatus, "I want to do something bigger, not for me, but for someone who means a lot." Now that sentence sounds like a hint, not just a sweet word. And if that's true, could this decision be the first step in the star's slow departure from the camera spotlight? What also invites speculation is the reaction of other BTS members. RM posted a meaningful quote on his Instagram story, reading, "True love is when you give something that can't be paid back." Jimin reposted an old photo of them with Jungkook with the caption, "You always surprise me." Taeil, who is known to be very expressive, did not respond directly. But in one pre-recorded radio broadcast, he called someone too good to hurt myself sometimes. Is that for Jungkook? Meanwhile, the public began to highlight the figure of the older brother, Jeon, who has almost never come forward. He is known to have an interest in the visual arts and had run a design business. But the popularity and scale of his business never matched even 1% of Jungkook's achievements. So, when the brother's wealth now falls into his hands, various speculations arise. Is he ready? Is he capable of such a great legacy? And is Jungkook's decision really based on conviction, or is it due to a certain emotional pressure? For some, Jungkook's actions are the culmination of family greatness and love. But for others, this can be a distress signal, that there may be a burden he can no longer bear on his own. Not a few fans are now flooding social media with prayers and hopes that this decision will bring good, not hurt. But among those thousands of comments, there was one that went viral. "We love you, Jungkook. But please, don't forget about yourself for the sake of others." It's like reflecting a collective fear. That although Jungkook's actions were moving, he also felt like a hint that there was something in him that was starting to want to give up. Or at least, get away from the world that never gave him time to breathe. Jungkook's decision to grant his brother the right of inheritance is probably not just a form of affection, but also a recognition that life is too short not to be happy with the person we love the most. But what makes it all so emotional is the fact that none of us saw this coming. Not from Magne BTS, who always seems strong, cheerful, and full of energy. Not from someone who just released solo songs that topped the global charts. Not from Jungkook, who we thought was living for himself. However, this is the reality. Behind all the popularity, Jungkook turns out to live not for himself, but for the people he loves. And if this decision is her way of making sure her brother is successful and happy, then one big question remains. Who will take care of Jungkook's happiness? But who exactly is John Younghyun in Jungkook's life? Why is he so important that Jungkook is willing to give up everything? The answer to this question is slowly coming to the fore as old stories emerge from Jungkook's childhood that have been buried by camera glare and blinding popularity. People who once knew John's family said that when Jungkook was very young, he was not the confident child he is today. On the contrary, he was known as a shy child, often cried when he had to appear in public, and was very dependent on his older brother. Younghyun is the one who always holds Jungkook's hand, encourages him, and dares him to sing at school events. There's a story that's just come to light. When Jungkook first auditioned for an entertainment agency, he almost gave up because of fear. On the way to the audition, he even whined that he wanted to go home, feeling that he was not good enough. But her brother, who was wearing only a shabby jacket and carrying nothing, hugged her tightly and said, "If you're not confident, just borrow my courage. Today, I will be your courage." Those words seemed to be deeply ingrained in Jungkook's heart. He never forgot it. Even after he became a world star, behind all those victories, there was one name he kept whispering in his prayers, Hyung. And now, years later, when he is everything, Jungkook chooses to return what he thought was his brother's from the beginning. For him, this dream is not only his. This is their success together. But does the sister really want it? An internal source said that Younghyun initially flatly refused the gift. It feels inappropriate. He even got angry, blaming Jungkook for acting impulsively. "I don't need your treasure. I just want you to be happy," she said in one of the private conversations quoted from the daily journal of a household staff of their family. But Jungkook didn't waver. She cried as she begged her brother. She prostrated in front of the dining table, crying as she said, "Hyung, you once said I should believe in myself. Now, please trust me too. This is the truth. This is what I want." Did this decision come from pure desire or out of guilt? Many began to suspect that Jungkook harbored an emotional wound that had not yet healed. Even some public psychologists who used to analyze celebrity behavior suggested that actions like these, if too extreme, could be a form of coping mechanism, an attempt to heal oneself through sacrifice. And if true, then this is not just shocking news. This was the silent cry of someone who had been looking strong all this time. The army did not remain silent. They started creating digital campaigns titled #ProtectJungkook and #WeSeeYouJK. Many of them wrote open letters, pleading for Jungkook not to be too hard on himself. Some even shared old photos of Jungkook with his brother, showing a genuine smile that now feels so expensive. But on the other hand, not a few netizens began to criticize this decision. There are those who question the legality of granting inheritance rights to the family when the giver is still alive and in an active period of work. Some have accused this as a made-up drama to cover up HYB's internal issues, but when asked by internal media close to the agency, a representative from Jungkook's legal team said only briefly, there was no manipulation. There is no scenario. It's a decision born from the heart. But that's precisely why everything gets even more confusing. If this really calm, the news of Jungkook handing over his inheritance and royalty rights to his brother not only shook the public, but also shook the hearts of BTS members. Because behind the camera spotlight, they are not just work partners. They are a family that has gone through more than a decade of living together. And this extreme decision touched not only financial, but also emotional affairs to RM. I didn't expect him to sacrifice himself so far. BTS's leader, Kim Namjoon, or RM, is said to be the first to know about this big decision. In an internal interview that was not aired in the media, RM reportedly only stared blankly for a few minutes as Jungkook revealed his intentions. Then he said in a low voice, "You know, you don't always have to give. Not all love has to be paid for." The sentence is now a crowded quote posted by the army, used as wallpaper, uploaded to Twitter, and interpreted as a form of a Hyung's deepest pain against his brother, who is too hard on himself, but RM did not prevent. He respected Jungkook's decision. But in one of his daily notes leaked to the Korean media, RM wrote, "He never asked us to hold him. He just wants us to understand, but who can truly understand the suffering of someone who is always trying to be everything to everyone? Jimin, I feel like I lost him, even though he's still here." Meanwhile, Jimin, who is known to be the closest emotionally to Jungkook, is experiencing a more personal upheaval. During one of the training sessions before the concert, Jimin reportedly cried suddenly while singing part of his duet with Jungkook. When asked what happened, he simply said, "I feel like singing with the memories, not with the person." The sentence instantly made the staff speechless. And from that moment on, speculation began. Did Jimin already know that Jungkook was slowly moving away? In his personal post, which was soon deleted, Jimin wrote, "Sometimes we think we know someone's heart just because we're close to them. But even the brightest light can hide deep wounds." That sentence, though brief, feels like the silent scream of someone who is being left slowly, without knowing whether to hold back or let go. Taeil, why don't you share that burden, Kookie? V, or Taeil, is known as a figure who often shows attention through attitudes and symbols, not words. However, for the first time, he reportedly called Jungkook late at night and asked directly, "Am I not a safe place for you to share your burdens?" The question came to the public through an old friend of theirs who shared it through a closed community. According to him, Taeil felt betrayed emotionally because he had never been told about this plan before. But after that, Taeil uploaded a painting on Instagram, a painting of two hands moving away from each other in a fog. No description, no tags. But the whole army knew it was a message for Jungkook. "Jin, my sister taught us the meaning of family." The most calm is Jin, the oldest member, who has just returned from his mandatory military service. In a closed-door conference attended by several media representatives and HYB staff, Jin said, "Jungkook has not lost his way. Instead, he is showing us the direction in which we should go. Home." The word home was a big deal. Many interpreted it as a message that Jungkook was no longer walking forward, toward the stage, the light, and the cheers, but back to where it all began. Home, family, and a love that expects nothing in return. Do Jungkook's songs contain farewell messages. After all of this was revealed, fans began to redig every lyric, every note, every stage moment from Jungkook. And they found something exciting. In the song My You, which was originally considered a love song for fans, is now reinterpreted as a hidden farewell letter. Lyrics like, "All these days are colored in by you / again in this dark place. Light me up like this star," as if to portray Jungkook's hope that the memory of him will live on, even though he will disappear from the spotlight. Even on the song Still With You, the lyrics, "Was it a dream? I think I saw you / when I open my eyes, the room's empty again." It is interpreted as longing for someone who is no longer on the same stage, whether it is about her brother or about herself who now feels empty. And now, there are rumors that Jungkook is preparing a final song, not for an album, not for a comeback, but just for one person, his older brother. The song will reportedly be titled Hyung and will be released privately. without promotion, just as a symbol of the deepest love he has ever had in life. What will happen next? In HYB's internal notes,